Hey guys, I'm in my backyard, hope that's okay. I just want to explain to you how your 21 Day Fix containers work and go through the booklet that's going to come in the mail. Because I know when I first got this booklet, I was like, oh, it looks really thick and I don't have time for that right now. And I put it down and then I literally didn't pick it up for like another 3 weeks. And at that time, I could have been done and in shape because it's 21 Day Fix. So, I'm going to explain to you the important stuff, and don't be intimidated by this booklet. A lot of this stuff is like fun recipes you can try. So it's not as overwhelming as you think. The only like informational stuff that you do kind of need to read through is in the first couple of pages, and I'm going to explain it to you. So if you don't like to read, this video is for you. If you're not much into the video, you can open your booklet and read yourself. Okay, so basically the first page is going to ask you how much you weigh so that you can figure out your calorie intake. Now, you don't need to count calories. That's first and foremost. That's why you're here. That's why you're going to love this plan. You only need to figure out your calories so you know how many of each container you can eat per day. For example, if you are only supposed to eat 1,200 calories per day, then you're going to have different amounts of each container that you can eat versus somebody who needs 2,000 calories a day and is going to need to eat this maybe 4 or 5 times and eat this 4 or 5 times when your numbers might be different. Okay? So it's not that confusing. Don't worry about what other people are needing to eat. You are just going to input your weight and then do this little tiny math problem that's on the first page. I promise it's easy. It's just addition and subtraction. And that's going to let you know how many containers you can eat per day. So for me, I fall in the first bracket, which is here. So let's read what it says. First bracket person, you can have 3 green containers per day, 2 purples, 4 reds, 2 yellows, 1 blue, 1 orange, and then everybody gets teaspoons, which you can there's fun stuff you can put in teaspoons. My favorite thing to do is put peanut butter and then plop it in my Shakeology. That's where my teaspoons usually go, but teaspoons are like for fun stuff. Okay, so it's really not complicated. You just need to know your calorie base so you can figure out how many containers of each you need to eat per day. So for me, when I'm packing my lunch at night, I will use the containers. So I'll put like my vegetables in here, and it can be whatever vegetable you want. So if you want to make spaghetti with spaghetti squash, then you would put spaghetti squash in here, and you would put your meat in your red container. Okay, does that make sense? So when I'm packing my lunch, I'll put spaghetti squash in my green. I'll put the ground turkey in the red, and then tomato sauce, I guess technically would be considered carby depending on how you make it. But there are recipes in here for like cleaner red sauces and what containers you're using for which. Alright, so it's really not that complicated. It's actually really easy. So if you're somebody who gets 3 green containers, for instance, a day, then your package only came with 1 green. So what does that mean? It means you can fill it up 3 times. So if you want to just measure out, like for lunch, I'll just take this. But then if I also want in my lunch a bag of carrots, I'll measure it out in my green container first and dump it into a plastic baggie, and then I'll fill my green container with another vegetable that I want, because I'm allowed to eat 3 to 4 green containers per day. And same with red. You can have 3 to 4 red containers per day, depending on your calories, so you'll figure that out. But your Shakeology counts as a red. So you can have that in the morning, you could have it in the evening, you can have your Shakeology whenever you want, but it does count as a red, which red is your proteins, which usually you would think of as meats, but Shakeology is so high in protein that they're counting it as a red. Carbs, let's talk about carbs for a second. Your yellow container. Okay, so healthy carbs, there's a page listed in your 21 Day Fix for healthy carbs. My favorite healthy carb is brown rice. I eat it with everything. So I'm allowed 2 of these per day. So I'll put brown rice in here. Sometimes I'll eat brown rice with like ground turkey on top, and I'll make kind of like a burrito bowl for fun. But also things like edamame count as yellow carb and not necessarily green. So check your food list and make sure that you're putting the correct foods in your carb versus the correct foods in your vegetables, because vegetables technically are carbs, but there's certain ones that really don't count as quote-unquote carbs when you're on the 21-day fix, and some that do. Okay? Now, fruits, depending on your goals, you will be allowed plenty of fruit per day. I'm allowed 2 of these per day. I will tell you that when I was doing like shows, like trying to do fitness shows, I was not eating any fruit a day. But you are not doing a fitness show, so you can have your fruit containers. I can have my fruit containers. But there is like a plan in your booklet that's called like show ready. And that's just if you're trying to get shredded, like you are going to have an 8-pack abs and that's your goal, then you're probably going to want to cut down or cut out your fruit. But for now, you're welcome to enjoy it, okay? Your blues are for healthy fats. So almonds are considered a healthy fat, guacamole or avocado is considered a healthy fat, hummus is considered a healthy fat, cheese is considered a healthy fat. Lots of those types of things. I only get 1 blue container per day, and that makes me really sad. So what I do personally is I looked at the list and I figured out how many almonds am I allowed to eat in my blue container, and then I cut it in half. So I'm making this number up off the top of my head because I don't know exactly, but let's say it was like you're allowed 12 almonds per day. So I would eat 6, and then I would fill this up later with like halfway full of cheese. So I'm kind of like doing a half here and a half there so that technically I can eat fat twice a day. Does that make sense? And then your teaspoons are for fun stuff you can put in your shakes, you can put it on your salad, you can put it whatever you want, but there is a list of approved teaspoons. For example, all natural peanut butter, coconut oil, things that you might cook with or put in your shakes. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Comment more questions if you have them, but go ahead and open your booklet. I promise it's not complicated. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Bye.